So I just watched a video from a Ring of Fire, hosted by Fair and Balanced. And what I find fucking hilarious is he was talking about the factor that apparently Trump literally has made jobs for people to go ahead and think up creative ways to insult Ron DeSantis. Now, I'm going to go ahead and clarify. My opinion on Ron DeSantis, dude's like horrible when it comes down to understanding, the variables that end up causing inflation, supply chain, actually being able to go ahead and, make sure that everything works as it should, going ahead, he doesn't actually go ahead and cap the amount of tax breaks that corporations, end up going ahead and being able to grab up, does a horrible job of going ahead and, making sure that people are getting paid what they're legally required for employers to legally required to pay. All right? But the insults are hilarious. The reason the insults are hilarious is because the funny part is apparently there's no evidence to back them all up. And if there was, why the fuck you ain't bringing them to court, Donnie? You literally had to go ahead and make jobs of people going ahead and slandering the dude just to go ahead and feel like you might have a shot for re-election, despite facing all those indictments. And the hilarious part about it is, it literally, you're giving people jobs to slander while at the same time telling the courts, I haven't been doing any slandering. Anybody taking those jobs, understand, Trump will throw you under the fucking bus in a heartbeat. He has no loyalty to you. All right? Funny thing is, with the insults with DeSantis, small dick. Huh. It's starting to sound like Donnie is a bitter ex-girlfriend, that one that ends up going ahead and hurling all those insults because she was pissed off that, you ended up seeing through who she really was. So you don't end up giving her another chance. So she feels slighted as all fuck. But if anybody were to ask her, what's your opinion on them? Even years down the road, they would still be shit-talking them because they need to try to save face for the factor that they were the one that fucked up. Like, it's kind of sounding like that circumstance, Donnie. And also, factor to say on DeSantis. All right? I'm going to throw a few out there because, let's be real, going to be fair in all parts. All right? Ron, literally going ahead and, for a campaign ad, reading The Art of the Deal to your kid and all that and shit. Funny thing is, I think the reason that Donnie's that emboldened is because he feels like he would be able to take your wife. But the funny thing is, his own fucking wife doesn't want him. And let's be real, how much you paying yourself out to be him, I wouldn't be surprised if your wife actually does fucking want him. So, you kind of put yourself in that position, you cuck-ass bitch. But, anyway, to continue on, the whole Boots thing, is it really a shot at somebody? They can't control their height factor, But, let's be real, Ron. You look like you're wearing stripper heels. Like, you look like the Texas equivalent of stripper heels wearing them fucking boots. Alright? So, stop making it so easy. Like, you really are. And as far as Trump goes and everything, dude, you need to stop throwing all the fucking insults. Alright? Let's be real about it. You're trying to go ahead and get off on the factor of, I haven't gone and, committed housing discrimination and fraud and all this shit. It's like, dude, you literally are trying to say that you don't have a history or haven't tried at any point to obstruct justice, while at the same time, literally after all evidence ended up pointing out that the Central Park 5 did nothing wrong, you bought a fucking billboard to be like, they should get the death penalty anyway. You're a fucking bigot, dude. Like, I've been impacted by systematic oppression, fucking housing discrimination. I've had to deal with that shit in my own life. Alright? And ultimately, I can tell you right now, anybody that would actually go ahead and vote for Trump fucking idiot. You know? You know, literally, though, the options that there are, it's just literally another circumstance lineup of lesser of two evils. Alright? Funny thing is, Nikki Haley ended up, kneecapping Ramaswamy. I don't know how to say his last name. But, he went after her family and everything. And she was able to go ahead and take that and, be like, oh, leave my family out of it. Dude, if you wouldn't have taken any shots like that during the debate, Nikki Haley would have fucking kneecapped herself. Like, why the fuck did you get in the way of her beating her own ass? Alright? Like, literally, it's just horrible all the way around. Then, when it comes to the Democratic Party, let's be real about it. Biden's campaign team, they don't know how to be able to actually spin the narrative for shit. So anything good that's been done under his actual campaign, it's getting completely overshadowed by the fact that you got a bunch of fucking anti-Semitic cunts because somebody decided to go ahead and give the KKK carte blanche to be like, hey, we're just going to go ahead and keep intimidating, election workers and everything. And keep in mind, last election, I was going and doing online canvassing for Bernie's campaign, Back in the early 2010s, I had literally been working for the Brookhaven Town Democratic Committee, canvassing, handing out pamphlets throughout the entirety of Suffolk County, and literally had dogs sent off after me, had fucking, people going ahead and threatening to either shoot or, call the cops for trespassing and everything, rather than being like, listen, I'm not interested, have a good day. Literally, that's all it would take. But you got people that are going to be assholes and be like, no, they were a fucking burglar going and trespassing on my property. It's like, no, I was the equivalent of a fucking political Jehovah's Witness. I was doing my fucking job. All right? So, but this whole thing is just fucking ridiculous. And the hilarious part is, literally Trump making jobs. Getting people to think up shots when it comes to Ron DeSantis. Where the fuck was that job creation energy back when you were President Trump? Where the fuck was it? You literally were the biggest fuck up in presidential history. Like, dude, literally 2 different impeachments fully stuck. Removal should have ended up happening. But ultimately, everyone was afraid by doing that ultimately it would end up, actually validating your, claims of, oh, the election was being tampered with and everything. No! People were just paying close fucking attention because they knew you couldn't win, and the only thing that you have is kneecapping people. God. It's like the country's been taking fucking crazy pills.